Hey everybody, it's Darren Price, syllabus.org. Today's December 9th. I know it's not December 1st or the 15th. As I normally make my videos, I'm still going to be making the one about motivation coming up on the 15th. But today, it's very important that I get this message out to you because there's some things that people don't understand or realize, and we need to do something about it right away. So today, real quick, I just want to touch on racism, tell you what it means, tell you a little bit about how long it's been in practice, and just have you think, open your mind. Let's make a move, do something about it. It can be curbed. So real quick, I just want to kind of give you a little breakdown of racism. And I love doing my little notepad. I love it because it keeps people's attention. Let's talk about racism. What is it? The belief that all members of each race possess characteristics or abilities specific to that race, especially so that to distinguish it as inferior or superior to another race or races. Another definition could be prejudice, discrimination, antagonism directed against someone of different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. A couple of synonyms: racial discrimination, racialism, racial prejudice, xenophobia, which is just unreasonable, chauvinism, bigotry, and casteism. Obviously, the casteism, casting people out. So there's your definition of racism and a few synonyms that go along with it. If you've ever in your life felt this way or treated someone in that act or sense, you've been a racist, or you are a racist. If you still act and believe in this definition, and you done anything or thought, felt, reacted, or treated another person in any of these senses, then you're a racist. Flat out. There's no explanation otherwise. But let me tell you something else. Racism just didn't start a few years back. I always like to bring it back to the Bible because that's where the truth is. Right here I wrote 3 different verses of the Bible when I looked up racism in the Bible. The Israelites were oppressed in Exodus, in the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verses 9 through 10. These are little references for you to read on your own because you can cross-reference the verses as far as racism is concerned. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become much too numerous for us. Come, we must deal shrewdly with them, or they will become even more numerous, and if war breaks out, will join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country. That's a form of racism. There's only supposed to be just us. Oh, there's too many of them, so what happened there, they were enslaved. So they had masters all the way back in the Bible, biblical days. They didn't make it right, though. Another example, back when Esther was made queen, the book of Esther, verse 10. Again, you got some reference points. You can cross-reference it with different verses in the Bible. I encourage you to read each chapter, not just a verse. Esther had not revealed her nationality and family background because Mordecai had forbidden her to do so. Wow. So that's just another thing where people today, you're scared of your own skin tone. You don't even like your own skin color because you don't like what other people are saying. Society is saying if you're too dark, then you don't fit in. Or if you're too light, you don't fit in. That's another example right there. Afraid of your own nationality, who you are, because of society, because you've been threatened. Back when that happened, wow, unbelievable. Judgment on Israel, the book of Amos. Read the whole chapter, but verse 13. This is what the Lord says: for 3 sins of Ammon, even for 4, I will not turn back my wrath, because he ripped open the pregnant woman of Gilead in order to extend his borders. Now, think about that. All three of those examples, people becoming slaves because a king felt inferior. There's too many of them. They're going to take over and we won't be superior anymore. Fear. Then you have where Esther was made queen. She was afraid to reveal her nationality because the king wanted to keep his own as being superior. Then you have the judgment on Israel. Because what happened was babies were torn from the mother's womb. Actually, they were killed, the mother and the baby. They were killed. So you think about how those things relate today. There's slavery in everything, in the workplace, in education, everything, in government. There's racism all over. Even based off of these three examples, you can relate. When you think about babies being ripped from their mother's womb, that's abortion. Think about that. It's just different examples of how to keep one race superior than the other. But that doesn't make it okay. Although I can't breathe with my hands in the air, God will always have the last word. Always. So I hope you really took a moment to read these things. And I put them on there for a reason for you to read. But I left other things for you to research on your own. You don't believe me? Look it up. These things are written. So the same things that are happening today happened way, way back in the biblical days. And they were written. But God took care of it all at the end of their time. And he fixed it. So right now, that's what's happening. People are being oppressed. People are afraid of the nationalities. People's kids are being killed, being shot, murdered, hung by people who are scared, who are in fear, just off of straight xenophobia, unreasonable hatred, being bigots, being chauvinists, just being discriminatory because they fear themselves. They're scared that they're going to lose their own power, so to speak. But we're all one race. And that never is going to be made sense of until we stop, think, realize we're all one race of human beings, just different shades. Some might not believe that, but that's okay. You don't have to believe it. At one point in time, we all have to get along. It doesn't matter. You can continue to be a racist. White people can be racist, obviously. Black people can be racist. All other particular shades, if you will, or nationalities can be racist towards one another even. You have the good black people and you have the bad black people. Or the uppity black people. They downgrade the people who aren't on their same level. Whether it's economically, education-wise, it doesn't matter. But it has to stop somewhere. So we got to do something about that. We know where it is. It's in the workplace. It's in the education system. It's in the government. It's now on the street. You can see it. But we got to do something about it. We can't keep talking about it. We got to unite to make this change and to make it happen. This is for everybody. If you're a racist, then this doesn't apply to you. But your time is coming too. Y'all have a great day. God bless you. Rest in peace to everybody who died senselessly over racism and stupidity, ignorance, lack of knowledge, lack of wisdom not being taught. Wisdom needs to be taught and passed down. Otherwise, the generations after generations, they're going to learn and do what they know how to do because they weren't taught. So we have to learn on our own now at this point. Instead of you sitting there saying, oh, well, them young people. Well, teach us something. Show us something. Tell us. Help us. Don't hurt us. Take care. God bless you. See you on the 15th, God willing. Don't be a racist.